Peace to everybody home and abroad, right? To everybody that subscribes to the YouTube channel, Furious Truth. What did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about why people don't accept reality, the true reality, or what is known as the reality that most of us live in. A lot of us are not hip to the 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 past in order to understand how things are now and where they're projected to go in the future. Right? Most people say if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're destined to go. Right? Or you're going to repeat it. If you don't know history, you're going to repeat it. And this is one of the main things about Hebrew Israelites that are trying to change the future through hope. And hope is a vision of a future that is much different than what they see now, right? I'm talking about a total regime change on the planet. It's not to destroy, it's not to put down, it's not to put away or to kill. Others will make you think that's what it was, or that's what they want. See, as most people start to obtain truth, right, by reading the different philosophies from the Quran or the Bible or the Vedas or the many spiritual books, they look for guidance. And they look for guidance with from outside of their self instead of from within their self. But first you must get the fundamental square, right? You got to get that square in order to understand how the rest of the world looks through that prism of that square. That square is the foundation which you filter everything through, right? Identity, place, language, right? These three, I heard from another guy, he was a mystic. He says everybody filters life through their identity. And this is true. See, black people in America, they don't have an identity. We are known as people that just came from Africa. And we're known as people that just came here on ships as slaves. But when a Hebrew Israelite comes and tells you, listen, no, you did greater things than that. You were in Egypt. You were in Israel. You was in Persia. You was in Europe. You was all throughout Africa. You even went into India. You even came to the Americas. Way before the white people decided to conquer us and destroy what was known as our foundation, which was that we were the closest people to the Most High God. The Most High God. There's many gods, but the Most High God. That's who they were. That's who we were the closest to. He revealed many things to us that makes us understand that the reality that we live in is created by our perception of the world and our lack of lust or love for ourselves first, and the love of others gives us different outlook of how human interaction should be or what it is. This is something that is encased in many mystical sayings, many philosophies, many different understandings from these other guys that tricked men into serving them. This is what it is. We forget that we're mankind and that there is a place for us to thrive as a being. And when I say a being, I'm talking about a supreme being. A supreme being that can dictate its outcomes in various levels. In various levels. See, in reality, God has created a thing called dualism. Dualism is the difference between good and evil, right? And many people don't understand what evil actually is. In order to recognize it within a person or in a country or within anything that they see from TV, radio, whatever it may be. And this is where history comes from. If you don't know what history, what happened throughout time, you would never understand what's going on, why it's imperative that you recognize what is evil and what is good. It's imperative that you learn the historical aspect of life first. This is what gives you identity. Once you get identity, then you can say, I don't want to be a part of that. Right? It's the difference between you saying, I don't want pork in my body because it would destroy my body. I don't want to put cigarettes in my mouth because it would destroy my lungs. This has come from history, right? You've seen it happen to others. People lose their vocal cords and they have holes in their stomach, in their throats. Get lung cancer, skin cancer, whatever different things smoke does to you. Right? So you have to recognize what good and evil is. This is why they didn't want you to read the scriptures, because the scriptures open you up. When I say the scriptures, I'm talking about the Holy Bible. And it opened you up to the idea of history. It doesn't give you the totality of history. It gives you a synopsis of history. You have to go through other books and get what these other beings have gave us as far as information so that we can make the right choices in the future. Because if you become all unuseful to the main force of creation, you have to be taken out, obliviated, destroyed, never to be seen again, because you can destroy the whole infrastructure of the universe with ignorance. This is what it's all about. And when people don't take the time to learn these things, where they think that their leader is 100% divinely inspired by God, that's when you lose. Because you're not taking the time to get wisdom in everything that she has and understand her and really cherish her and love her the way that she is supposed to be loved. That's a real relationship between wisdom and man. You're supposed to love her like you love your wife, because she's your only doorway to actually understanding who the Father is. It's like when you're a kid and you're 2, 3 years old, you barely see your dad, but you always see your mother. You always see her. She's always there. She's feeding you, changing you, giving you clothes, giving you money, walking you around, taking you to the park, doing different things, fixing your hair, brushing your teeth, giving you a shower. So you unconditionally love her. You don't know why, but you do it. But she is the gateway to your father. How? Because spiritually you start to grow. You start to grow and recognize that he has more to give than what she has. Not saying he has more as far as he's smarter or better. No. You have to get to a maturity level in order to comprehend what he would be able to give to you. Because he's not a nurturer, he's a protector. So now you understand what he's doing. He's protecting you. He's giving you fundamental things with reality, showing you how to organize your life. That's what a father is supposed to be doing. Guidance. Mother is to nurture you with the father's protection and guidance. This is a spiritual aspect too. Once you obtain wisdom and you adore her and you give her her due respect as she gives you knowledge of the universe and you take it in, then you go into the next step, which would be understanding the Father, which comes within you. And then you learn that everything that you are is what the universe is. You're the earth. You're the water. You're the air you breathe. You're the energy, the electricity. That's why you could get hit by lightning walking outside. That's why you could get shot by touching outlets. That's why you create friction on the ground and you touch a door, you get shocked. These are the elements. You're even the void. The void, you want to know what the void is? Thoughts. Your thoughts, your mind, the unboundless, endless thought process that you can dive into. Where many people have multiple personalities. That's a void. A void is an endless pit. An endless pit. This is what the human is made of. Then you have people that go out and try to dismantle this creation. To understand what the creation has already told you you are. It's very interesting. See, you learn all these things, language, culture, heritage. Then you take everything that's outside of that, spirituality, sciences, and you go through that filter of those three things of identity. And once it comes through, sometimes you don't know what it is. Right? But you must ponder on those things and make it one of those three things. Language, culture, identity. And sometimes it doesn't fixate on one of those. It creates its own area of unknowns. And that's part of the void of the mind. Because you'll leave it there, and then later on, you'll find something that connected to the one of those three. This is what the problem is with a lot of our elders. When slavery was over and America was hurled or heralded as the greatest country in the world, where you could come and get a job and make money and be the best that you can be. People negated history. They negated their language. Negated is you neglected it and took something else on. So they come in here, they come to America, and they take these things that was never of them. They strive to be something that they were never a part of. Knowingly and unknowingly, people did this. After slavery, I would say in the 60s and the 50s. So now we're thinking everything is okay. But at the same time, there was an element that worked against them. Pacifying the people. Telling them, no. You're okay here. We love you. See, you're getting the same thing we're getting. You're getting money. You might not be getting the same amount. You might not be getting the same house. You might not be getting the same type of car, but you're getting something. Yeah, it's nice, right? So then those children are born from those people that came and neglected everything that they came from to learn something new because it was told to them that would be a better civilization. Way better than any civilization that's been around from antiquity. And you know what happens? That place switches it on you. Now it says, oh, you don't have this? Can't do this. You're this? You got to go here. You look like that? No job. This is what happens to people that neglect their history. So now they tell the new generation of people that see what these people did, because we have the fortunate love of God to be able to look in antiquity and learn the difference between good and evil and see that something isn't right. Not everybody approaches it in the right way. Maybe when you're a baby, you lash out because you want milk, meaning more information, but you still do it anyway. But people don't understand history, so they don't understand what's happening to them. They don't understand that the world never gave a shit about you. It tricked you to gain a foothold of the situation first, surround you with the army first, and then tell you you don't have shit and you can't have shit, and you're going to be whatever we dictate you to be. Now, when a person like me comes and say, listen, this is done. We're not dealing with them anymore. We don't want anything from them anymore. We don't want to be around them anymore. Now I look crazy. Now I sound crazy. But then I break it down to you and show you, hey, listen, this is this is this. And you start to see it, I'm not so crazy anymore. Sometimes we don't deal in reality. And the reality is you consist of the past, the present, and the future. And you should always talk in those three things so that everything is linear. Because if you're not talking in the present about the future and the past at the same time, and you only talk about the future, you neglect the past. So you definitely don't know where you're going. You definitely don't understand what's happening. You definitely don't have a full grasp on the present. That's a very serious problem. Do you understand that? How serious of a problem that is? Not having a full grasp on the present to be able to affect the future. You have to know I said this many times already. So when you hear me come and say in these videos about Enki, Zeus, Christ, the different spiritual books, it's because I want to go learn about the spiritual world in order to understand what's happening in the physical. That is all you need. You don't need another person describing to you about the spiritual world when the spiritual world has gave you all the tangible information you need to learn about them and what's happening there. That's the truth. It's been given to us. And we neglect it. We say, oh, God is not real because God doesn't think like us. God was an animal because we don't think like God. Listen, man. I'm Furious Truth, meaning I absorb light. That's what that means. Furious Truth means I absorb light. No, I'm Furious Black. This is Furious Truth. But I absorb light. Full of energy, absorbing light. So anyway, listen. Like, subscribe, and pay attention to what I've said and what I mean about history, present, and the future. Those three make you who you are. All right, thanks, guys.